So if we can just go back to the start when you
Yes.
got involved in Strictly, can you let me know what made you want to take part?
Right. The reason why I wanted to take part in Strictly was, well, for me, I love challenges. You know, I mentioned this before. You know, it's life is about challenges. Sometimes you got to put yourself in an uncomfortable position. You know what I mean? Outside of your comfort zone, and you kind of find out some things about yourself. You know, life is all about learning, right? Not only do I get to find out things about myself, I also get to learn some dance moves. Before Strictly, I didn't have a clue about ballroom, Latin. I say maybe, and the reason I say maybe is because especially we as African Caribbean folk, we use our hips when we dance, right? So yeah, that was a bit more. There's more in common with that. So for me, it was all about just discoveries, new frontiers, and I said, yeah, let's go with Strictly. I never thought it happened, but yeah, there you are.
Okay, so you talked a little bit about discoveries and learning things. Can you tell me what you've learned about yourself during this process?
During my time in Strictly, I would say the things I've learned about myself, I knew I was fairly tough. I mean, coming from that background, Mozart Estate, Kilburn, you had to be tough. That just builds you to be tough. You got no choice. But to deal with obstacles that I've had to face on this show, myself and Karen, I learned how strong my resolve could be, because being in the dance-off twice, I didn't realize how emotional and physically and mentally draining it would be. There's a lot of pressure on you to deliver. You've got judges who are basically going to make a decision upon how you perform this dance. And I also learned that I'm not that bad a dancer. It's one thing to kind of think that you could do all right on the show, but it's another to actually put it into actual practice and taking the instruction from a skilled, trained dancer, a brilliant dancer at that. In the shape of Karen Griffin. I would say I've learned that, and also on top of that, I now have a semblance of how to do the foxtrot and quick step and south sides, and cha cha cha. You know what I mean? They all have this remnants in my brain about all of these dances. Of course, I'm learning them day to day. Each particular dance. It's like 4 days. I only got 4 days to work on them. Do you know what I mean? Whereas some, these dancers have learned over years how to perfect these particular dances and techniques. So, it's like the old saying, Bob Marley once said, you don't know how strong you are until strong is all you got left. We had no choice. I got no choice. It's either I do it, it's do or die. It's either you do it or you don't nail it and you deliver a not so great performance on the day. And I can't afford to, man. I got too many people depending on me to do that.
So you spoke about being in the bottom two, being in the dance-off. Wrong. What do you feel went wrong?
For me, being in the bottom two, I wondered what the problem was, why. I thought, Karen and myself, we delivered, good performances. Namely the last two, of course, which would have been salsa and American foxtrot. I don't recall really getting a step wrong. I remember obviously Darcy mentioning about these big steps I take, which may affect my balance or, the execution of the next step, which I do hear on that point. And I think there was the talk of my fast, quick slows, my heel drags and toe leads that Craig mentioned in the American foxtrot. But largely, and that's why I felt compelled to say, to Claudia that, I'm a novice in the grand scheme of things. I'm not a specialist in this particular dancer, But what we, myself and Karen, we try to do is deliver a performance, make it, entertaining. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? Try and tell a story. You understand? And I felt we did that. I felt that was done on the night, but unfortunately, this didn't feel like it was good enough. I guess in reflection to the scores we received, back to back. I said apparently it is not even apparently, it's a fact. It's it's a record for, you know, contestants to score 25 points in 4 rounds. It's never been done before. I don't know if that's a great record to have, I ain't gonna lie, but you know, we're still here, still live to fight another day. But yeah, I guess it's the voters. It's the voters. For some reason, they don't think we're doing good enough, or we're not. I don't know what it is. This is difficult, but the voters are the ones that make the decision to keep us in, or for us to be in the dance-off. So I'm just hoping, you know, that voters, trust me, we got so much more to give, guys, man. You know, break us off something, man. Come on, man. You know what I mean? We just good people. We're just regular good fellas. You know what I'm saying? We're just trying to, we're just trying to do our thing. We're trying to live, man. You know.
So if worst comes to worst and you are eliminated this week, what will you take away from the experience?
If Karen and myself are eliminated this week, of course, we'll be very, very disappointed with that, you know, because as I said, I think we've done really, really well over these last 4 rounds. We've shown variety, you know. As I said, I've proved to myself that I can dance. But I think what I will take away from this show is that, I can handle pressure. I think I've proved I can handle pressure because of my job. My job requires you having to hold your nerve, you know, in front of that camera, a single shot. It may seem like it looks easy, but it's nerve-wracking. Speaking for myself, very nerve-wracking whenever I perform in front of a camera. You know what I mean? But you know, we've conditioned and trained ourselves to handle that pressure and deliver a performance. So, but this is a different realm for me. So I've shown that I can handle pressure in different environments, you know, high pressurized environments, you know what I'm saying? And also I think I've taken from this, learning how to move and how to use my body more so. As an actor, you have to be very aware of your body. You have to be very aware of what you're doing and why your hand is in a certain place, etc., etc. Emotionally, we are so sensitive about each performance we deliver. You know, the emotions are like gears, so we have to be very much in touch with them, right? In this instance, obviously, as a dancer, you have to be very much in touch with your body and knowing when to deliver something sensitive with more give, more panache, more punch, more suave, more sophisticated. You know what I mean? It's those, once again, gears. So I'll be taking from strictly that, yeah, I can do that. I can modulate.
So this week you are performing a street dance number, which is the first time in the series that that style of dance is being performed, and you've just taken a break out of rehearsing to have a chat with me now. Do you feel the pressure more than usual this week because it's the first time, and can you tell us a little bit about what viewers can expect?
Being the first couple to perform in the couple's choice round, as it were, there is a definite sense of pressure, you know, and because of the nature of the dance, street dance, contemporary, you know what I mean? You know, this takes me back to my old days, like I said, as a kid, you know, doing my little dance-offs with the boys in the ends, you know what I mean, and doing everything and trying to copy all the, you know, the whole hip-hop artists from the back in the day, the Big Daddy Kane's, Kid and Play, you know, etc. Yeah, there is definitely a pressure. There's just a sense of expectation, as it were, you know. And like, Chucky, you better not mess up in that, bro. You know, it's just like, kind of, oh God. But on the day, I can't go in with that. Otherwise, it's going to be too much, way too much expectation. But it's a lot. There's no doubt. But like I said before, you know, these are the moments that, you know what I'm saying, you know, that become part of a legacy, you know what I'm saying? And to even get as far as I have in this competition, I'm very proud of that anyway. Week 5, you know, and, you know, imagine my kids who didn't even think they were like that. Don't do Strictly, you can't dance that, you know what I mean? And I'm surprised them all. I did the jazz splits, for heaven's sake, you know, I done shown them, yeah, Daddy can still move, you know?
How have they reacted to?
Well, my children have reacted with a lot of pride, you know, really impressed, you know, and that means a lot, you know, receiving such lovely lovely comments from my kids. You know what I mean? I've got my little man, you know, he's 7 and he's just like, you know, he's trying to reenact the moves, you know. I learned the other day he went to school and he was talking to his teacher about, you know, yeah, my dad's on Strictly and he's, you know, he's dancing. He said, "Do you want to show some of the moves?" And he went, "Yeah, so my dad does this, that does that." Oh, I lifted a lump in my throat, so sweet. I said, my goodness. So yeah, it's a beautiful thing, you know.
Do you have a favourite dance move from the season?
I would say my favorite dance move from this season of Strictly, I think it would have to have been the jazz splits. Because I haven't done the jazz splits in years. I mean, you know, I was a big Prince fan. I still am, you know what I mean? You know, and of course, James Brown, and you know what I'm saying? And, you know, JB, the godfather of the soul, you know, he has such an influence on all the artists of today. So to do that in homage to him and to deliver it so well. And it really is just because I have to say, at first, when I did it the first time, it was a lot more, you know, more of a L shape, and then it just started, it's probably started off at 9 o'clock, and then after a while it started going to like an 8, then a 7, and I was almost in a 6, you know, even though my groin was absolutely killing me, but still, that has to be my favorite move.
So you would like to go all the way, obviously. Can you just tell me what it would mean to you if you did manage to achieve that? If you did win?
Going all the way in Strictly to the finals and picking up that glitter ball would be a huge seminal moment in my career. You know, because with the journey that I'm experiencing thus far to this day, and like I said, all the obstacles that, you know, Karen and myself have had to overcome, to go through all those bumpy roads and that terrain and that travail to get to the end point, pick up the glitter ball. Of course, for myself, it would mean so much. I know it would mean a whole lot to Karen. It would mean so much to my family, my mum who keeps praying for me and wishing me all the best, and you know, my kids. Like it's gonna be weird if I leave early. I don't know how my son's gonna react to that, but you know, yeah. What it is, I think, as well, is just from an influential standpoint. You know, it once again shows that you can overcome anything with focus, hard work, diligence, and belief and faith. You can achieve. You know what I mean? I've had to use all of those components in my career in order for me to be here 20 years down the line as an actor. I've had to use all of this. So I'm having to now, you know, transfer those components to this show. I'm using those same tools in order for us to stay strong and get through these hard times and hopefully have a breakthrough moment where we can just kind of, you know, the voters can see what we're trying to do, you know what I mean, and know that we mean well, and all we want to do is entertain and just give a good show. And yeah, that would be amazing. I hope so.